What's up, team? In today's video, I'm going to walk you through my entire process for how I set and achieve long-term goals in my personal life, and then I'm going to show you some strategies for how you can actually apply my methods into your life to achieve the life that you desire moving forward. Now, when it comes to goal setting, I like to look at my life across like really 5 domains or 5 life categories, so to speak. And they are across the areas of your mind, your body, your spirit, relationships, and business. And the reason why I do this is that in the past, whenever I've set goals, I've been very singular-minded in, for example, just wanting to achieve like a health and fitness goal. And then I'd find that, all right, I achieved my health and fitness goal, but my fucking business is tanking and my finances are all over the place. And then I've counteracted where it's like, all right, I'm just gonna focus on business for this next quarter or this next year. And then I go all in on business and then like start making a bunch of money. And then I find that my relationship's gone to sleep. I'm burned out, I'm stressed to the max, and my life is in chaos again. And then I find that, you're right, I go and work on maybe my relationship, and then the business tanks again. And I keep on going, in the past, I've continued to go around in these whirlwinds, and that really led me to like wanting to look at, all right, I've gone through so many or countless number of workshops in regards to goal setting and how to achieve things and yada, yada, yada. I'm sure you've seen it all yourself. And maybe yourself, you're a little bit skeptical about this video as well, which I don't fucking blame you, right? There's a lot of crap out there. And a lot of the time it doesn't eventuate in you achieving what you really want, right? Especially across all the domains of life. So this video is really for those who see their life from a holistic standpoint, where you are, you know, you've got that burning fire within where you do want to actually progress across all areas of life without sacrificing anything else or any other life areas unnecessarily. And I know that this is a major problem that especially if you're in the entrepreneur space or if you're a creator of some sort, this is a major problem that so many people face in wanting to get their life on track. And the more that I've continued to push forward and really innovate in the space of high performance for entrepreneurs, because that's my personal background, I've found there is a huge advantage for those who are wanting to really level up and master all areas of life simultaneously, because it can be done. It takes time, it takes work, but I'm going to show you the framework for how I actually approach that today. And before we get into like the key areas and key categories and how I actually systematically go about setting goals and intentions for myself, I want to show you this transformation framework that I've got up here on the board. And typically when it comes to goal setting, I like to view it in this transformation framework in 3 key areas, okay? So step number 1, and I'm going to walk you through the details of each step after this brief explanation here. So step number 1 is really, firstly, we need to get clear around the facts of your current reality. In other words, we need to get raw, honest, and truthful with ourselves about where we currently are. Because if we're trying to go and navigate somewhere in life, if you jump into your car and you just plug in the end destination, well, it doesn't really do you any good, does it? Because Google Maps, for the algorithm to work, it needs to understand your current location or where you currently are. And without that, you're not going to be able to navigate to your end destination because you don't know where your starting point is. So the key aspect of analyzing our current situation is that we need to find a way or have a process where we can start to uncover our blind spots, where we can shine a light on our dark side as well, the things that are really limiting us and holding us back that we don't want to fucking address. It can be painful to address at times because, you know, as humans, we like to feel good. We like to avoid pain, seek pleasure, but the more we do that, there's like this immense amount of like shit that just gets swept under the rug that, you know, eventually we need to fucking address and shine a light on to just start looking at how we can progress from that place. Now, when I talk about addressing your current self and getting raw and honest in that place, it's not about making yourself, it's absolutely not about judging yourself or making yourself feel shameful or guiltful for where you are or maybe shit you've done in the past that's led you to this point. But we need to just take responsibility and accept that your life, as it currently stands, is a direct creation of your own. In other words, we create our reality, right? And this like can really help us overcome the victimhood mentality that typically keeps us like limited and plagues us when we're trying to advance towards our goal. Because as soon as we continue to give our power away to external situations, as soon as we start to play the victim in life, we're dead in the water. you're not going to be able to go and achieve your goals, because your goals are on the other end of you reclaiming your personal power, your own certainty in life, and stepping up and actually claiming full responsibility for where you are and where you're going. So step number one is we have to get so raw and honest with ourselves and start telling the truth. And this means to stop fucking lying to ourselves as well, because we shortcut ourselves by lying all the time, typically. So what I'd like you to do is just first start sitting into the energy of like, all right, as you're watching this video, let's just feel into where am I today, and accept yourself for being there. And it's perfect that you're there, right? Because your current situation is presenting you with a number of challenges and life lessons for you to embody and overcome so you can continue to progress and evolve as a human being. That's all it is. And look, the reason why you are where you are is because that's exactly where you're meant to be. You have nowhere else to be right now. So just sit here in the present moment with me and let's go through this process and start to get excited about, all right, owning your current situation and where you are. And then let's just like inject like a fire or an inferno into ourselves to inspire us to actually want to move towards and start to make progress towards your goals that are really aligned with your truest version of yourself that you really want to achieve moving forward in your life. After we do this, then it's about crafting and creating our ideal future version of our life. In other words, it's about feeling into the energy of what we want to feel, what we want to be doing, how we want to be conducting and living our life. What do we want to be creating? What value do we want to offer and give to the world? And what type of lifestyle do we want to be living? Do we want to be working a 9-to-5 job, working 8 to 10 hours a day, so we can like work for the weekends and then have a bit of fun on the weekends? Do we want total freedom and abundance? Do we want thriving relationships? Do we want to really feel like healthy and alive in our body? Do we want to have an intelligent mind where we can like think big, where we can like problem solve at much higher capacities, where we can create tremendous amount of value for other people in the world, to end suffering, to promote happiness, joy, acceptance, unity, all these things? Like, you've got to start to come up with your ideal vision for the future in which you want to live, and a future that you want to start building a legacy for, to leave for the future generations. So I'll then take you through that process, but then here's the key. Once we get clear on the current situation, once we have a crystal clear vision of like the future in which we want to create for ourselves, then it's about looking at the strategy. Because you'll notice here, this is like a cliff face, okay? Here, and here's the big pit. Now, this presents itself a huge gap that we have to cross, that we have to be able to overcome. And the gap in life presents itself as many challenges and obstacles or bottlenecks that we merely face in our life. So the key to taking ourselves from where we are to where we want to go is identifying a key strategy that we can implement with success to overcome the gap and achieve what we want in life. Now, if we don't create ourselves a solid and sound strategy for how to get what we want in life, well, we're going to find ourselves in the pit. And here in the pit, this is a place of denial. This is a place of victimhood. This is a place of addiction. This is a place of depression. This is where we find ourselves when we are continuing to lie to ourselves, and when we actually give up on executing an effective strategy to achieve what we want in life. So many of us, I've been here many times in my life, and this is why I understand this framework so well, and that's why I've designed it, right? Because I've fucking lived a large percentage of my life here. And it's through that pain that I've learned many valuable life lessons, that I've started to be able to execute my strategies more effectively to get what I want, because I prefer that in life to living down here, okay? So if you're here, don't worry, have no fear. I'm gonna show you how to get the fuck out of here and up to your future desired state. So now that we understand the transformation framework, I'm now going to transition into and show you the life categories and how I break them down, and how you're going to start to see the interconnectedness of all areas of your life, and why it's really important to start viewing yourself as a holistic human being who is desiring to and wanting to level up across all areas simultaneously, because you'll notice that each area of your life feeds into the next, because they're all one at the end of the day. There only is just life and living as a human being. There is no difference between the different things in our life that we navigate. And when you start to merge your life and like your business and relationships, your health and your spirituality all into one way of operating, just as you in who you are, living your life, that's where the magic starts to happen. It's when we typically like separate and segment ourselves and cut or like view life in all these different silos, that's where the disconnection starts to happen. And that's where we can start to get like fucked up and jumbled up in our mind in trying to manage and organize everything in our life. So let's get into the first category, which is your mind. All right, you're gonna want a pen and paper for this one. So, 1. Now, when it comes to our mind, there's many different facets of intelligence, right? So the way I like to view my mind is I view it through the lens of my intelligence. Because the more intelligent I become, the more effective I am at life. So the opposite of intelligence that I've found, when I hadn't put all this together yet, the way that I thought to get results in my life and business was just to work harder at everything. So I'd burn myself out, I'd be the hardest worker in the room, I'd be working 16 to 20 hours a day, non-stop, 7 days a week, because I thought that's how you achieve results in life. That's what I was taught growing up. But then when I started to analyze my mind, I was like, fuck, I'm kind of being a bit of a dumbass here, because I see many other people achieving far greater results than me in their life. They're much happier and they're operating in a more sustainable manner than I am, which means that I'm missing something here. I'm not being effective with the time and energy that I'm putting into my creation and what I'm trying to do here. So that's when I started to break down like the aspects of intelligence into a few key categories. So the first one is your emotional intelligence. Now, when it comes to emotional intelligence, there's a few things within our emotional intelligence that we can look into further. So number one, it's about our level of self-awareness of ourself. So self-awareness of who we are, self-awareness of our strengths, our weaknesses, what we're good at, what we're bad at, and there's no right or wrong here. Self-awareness of our passions, our curiosities, what we love doing, and how we typically view the world, right? Our perception of reality. And then in addition to this kind of plugs into our ability to know thyself and be in tune with ourselves. And thirdly, it's our ability to master our emotions. So when you're analyzing this first segment, your emotional intelligence in life, ask yourself, okay, what are the key underlying emotions that I'm facing in my life that are kind of ruling over me? Am I living in perpetual states of fear? Am I living in ongoing states of anxiety? Am I stressed out all the time? Am I overwhelmed with things? And if I am, do I have tools and strategies for overcoming my negative or limiting emotions that I continue to face on a daily basis? On the alternative, how often am I feeling heightened states of like love, joy, compassion for others? How do I feel united with the world around me? Or do I feel quite isolated and divided and separated from everyone else around me? So as you start to navigate these, you can just get a bit of a subjective view on what is your current ability to process through your emotions and be self-aware of what you're feeling in the current moment. The next one is your universal intelligence. So your universal intelligence is really like your bigger picture thinking, okay? So big picture thinking. It's your ability to understand how things work at large. So what is your current awareness and understanding of how the universe works, how the world works? What is your current understanding of like global systems, global economic systems, global education structures, power structures within the world? Because your ability to understand the macro of things and the cycles of our planet and what goes on and what we're doing here, then that's going to give you a massive leg up, because he or those who can think the biggest will always win. And I don't want you to view this through a point of like competition, right? But when you can view things and zoom out and achieve this really grand big picture thinking in life, you can easily understand how the small or the microcosms work in life too. So the more you zoom out, the more context you're going to have with things that are going on. So for example, and I'm not judging anyone here, nor you, nor myself, it's like there's no good or bad with anything. Right now we're living through a massive planetary change, where the planet's ascending in consciousness, where we've got this major pandemic sweeping through the world. And if you're just seeing things through the lens of what a TV is telling you, and that is your entire context for reality, then you're going to be living a very limited life, right? Because you're not going to have greater understanding or context for why things are happening the way they are. So the way to understand the small cycles in the world, the way to understand a situation like the pandemic and what's going on right now and how to navigate these times and what's going to happen next and all that shit, the way to understand it and master it is to zoom out and understand how everything works as a whole. Now, I'm not saying go out and click your fingers and this is going to happen right away, but the more you ask why and develop a deep curiosity for why things work the way they do, and you want to understand why behind everything and how behind everything, then that's what's going to develop your ability to start thinking with a universal mindset, where you're looking at the whole, not just the micro isolated things that are occurring. Because when you look at the micro without having the macro context, you're going to walk around confused all the time, I guarantee it. And I've been there myself too. So they're the first two. The next one that I want to talk about is your applied intelligence. So applied means like, how are you taking your intelligence and applying it into your practical life? So this is things like your ability to set and achieve goals. So that's what we're doing right now. You're developing this aspect of your brain. What is your current ability to be focused on a task for prolonged periods of time? What are your current levels of discipline like? And when you start working on these, I've got these written down because I didn't want to forget any. What else have we got? Okay, so organization. How organized are you in your life? The less organized you are, the more scatterbrained you're going to be. So by you just like firstly going through this video and starting to break down like life categories and look at the components that go into each of these, you're absolutely exercising this part of your brain, which is going to allow you to progressively and systematically enhance all other areas of your life. The other aspect of applied intelligence would be how good are you at managing your attention? Like, do you have control about what you put your attention into or not? Are you able to put your attention into those things that are going to lead to your own personal expansion, evolution, and progression in life? Or are you constantly like giving your attention away to everyone else, what everyone else thinks, and social media, news, whatever else, drugs, addictions? You know, your ability to manage your attention in life is so vital. So that's like attention. And this ties in and is correlated with your ability to focus too. The next one is your dynamic intelligence. So make sure you've got these written down. I'm going to rub these off. We're going to keep on going with a few other categories of your mind. So the next one is your dynamic intelligence. So this is like how to think, basically. This is your problem-solving ability. This is your creative skill set. Your ability to learn new things. Do I have any more for this? Oh, lastly, your decision making. So how effective are you at making decisions? Jesus, decisive. Decision making. So this aspect of dynamic intelligence is so critical because our ability to problem solve effectively and be creative in coming up with solutions is key to being able to achieve step number 3 in achieving goals, which is like developing clear and effective strategies and adapting them through our dynamic intelligence, our ability to pivot and adapt to new circumstances and new situations in new contexts and new environments. That is our ability to be an effective dynamic thinker. And when you cultivate and start to learn how to think more effectively, how to make more effective decisions, how to learn new things rapidly, and how to be more creative in your ability to problem solve and create solutions, then you're going to be able to overcome any challenge or roadblock in your life because you're going to see things from a much holistic standpoint. So that is dynamic intelligence. And then the last one for intelligence is your social intelligence. So this is things like your ability to lead others. So leadership / persuasion. What is your ability to lead others to their desired future state? And what is your ability to persuade them on more empowering ideas that are actually beneficial for them? So this is about ethical persuasion, not manipulation, okay? It's about working with people in cooperation to help others get what they want in their life. Because the more effective you are at that, then the more effective of a leader you're going to be, and then you're going to be able to enhance the value that you can offer others in your life and within the marketplace as well. And then the other one in social is your ability to communicate. So for this one, you can analyze, all right, how much of an effective communicator am I? Am I good with my words, with speaking? Am I good with the written form? What is your communication skill set? So verbally speaking, it could be like recorded video. Are you good interacting with people one-on-one? Are you good in interacting with people in group settings? Are you good on live virtual Zooms? Are you good at writing articles? Are you good at writing maybe like social media posts? It's like, what communication methods are you great at? Are you good at communicating through your energy and your body language? There's so many different forms of communication that you can look into. But what we're doing here, remember, I want you to write each one of these down and just get a bit of a subjective view of where you currently rank yourself in regards to your current skill sets, what you're good at, maybe what might be a weakness of yours. And I'm not saying that you have to, go and fix all your weaknesses like that. It's like, no, let's just all we're doing is getting an establishment and really understanding where we currently are, so we can start to get some context and we can continuously build upon this moving forward. So that is the way that I personally break down all aspects of my intelligence, and I look at the key areas that I can really start to improve on moving forward. The next area of your life that we're going to look into is your body. In other words, your energy and your health. Because this is the name of the game. Your consciousness or your intelligence is directly correlated with your current state of being and your health, because the more energy you have, then you can channel that into enhancing your mind, improving your intelligence, putting more energy towards problem solving, being creative, learning, and all of these other facets of life. Because if you have no energy to channel into those aspects of intelligence that we just spoke about, once again, you're dead in the water. We need energy to move through life. We need energy to progress, to evolve, and to create. So this is all about how your biological system is operating, okay? And I like to break this down into a few different categories as well. Number one, I prioritize recovery first, because those who recover the most win. And once again, this is not about being competitive with others. This is about you being competitive with you. So the more that you're recovering, you are able to enhance your ability to get back in the zone, because your ability to produce, to create, to get in the zone is dependent on your ability to get out of the zone and recover mentally, physically, psychologically, and also on a spiritual level too. So here, let's look at the different areas of recovery. Number one, sleep. Start looking at your sleep, analyzing. Are you sleeping effectively? Are you recovering at nights? Or are you getting a lot of junk sleep? And you can start to look at the variables around that. And I can produce more content on this in the future. But for now, you can start to investigate some other sources that you see fit to start improving your sleep. The next one is your ability to manage your stress. So, are you constantly always in anxiety, fear, or fight or flight? If you are, your sympathetic nervous system is going to be activated for greater percentage of the time out of your day, and that's going to affect your ability to think. Because if we are constantly in a state of perpetual stress, anxiety, and fear, where our nervous system is jacked up and wound up, you literally, like it's proven scientifically, that your prefrontal cortex of your brain basically goes offline. And that is why it's directly correlated. You can learn through all these other examples in life as well, which I love to do personally. Look at the news, okay? And this is gonna be a little bit controversial. But if you want to persuade and control the masses, the main tool for that is using fear. Because when you inject fear throughout society, people literally stop thinking. They don't rationally think anymore. Their brain goes offline and they start to operate on survival mode. So if you're constantly stressed, especially in business and other life situations, if you're making decisions from a place of stress, you are making dumb decisions. So what we want to do in life is maximize our ability to recover, to wind down, to relax, to release all of the tension and stress within our system. And we do that by just surrendering and accepting everything that is, surrendering to the present moment, and just breathing and starting to regulate our breath. Then that is how we achieve heightened states of being and heightened states of thinking, where we can start to approach life from a bigger perspective. Because the more fear, the more stress you have, you start to typically zone in on all the negative solutions or the negative things going on in the world. And the more you do that, it starts to perpetuate that feedback loop, and then you can just find yourself drowning in fear a lot of the time. So the way to solve problems effectively, the way to get more creative, the way to come up with effective solutions to overcome your problems in life, we need to reduce stress, okay? Next one that correlates with grounding is, that correlates with recovery is your grounding. So, how often are you getting out and connecting with nature? How often are you getting your bare feet on the grass, in the soil? Are you getting in the ocean? Are you getting in the rivers? Are you going and hanging out with trees, with animals, and just grounding yourself and mellowing out a little bit? Because the more we spend inside, away from sunlight and away from nature, the more stress we accumulate. Because stress is also correlated with positive ions or really low acidic pH levels in your body. So if you want to reduce your stress, one of the most effective ways to balance out your nervous system is to plug in to the energy grid of Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. Because when we do that, we can start to balance out our energetic set point. So that's another one. I'm not going to get too into grounding right now, but just analyze. Do you spend time in nature or not? If you do, how often are you doing it and how long for? The next one for recovery is a few more advanced tools, things that you can use like massage, float tanks, and other one is like fun, okay? So how much fun are you having in your life? Because your fun is gonna correlate with recovery too. The more fun you have, the more play you have, the more you get out there and do things that you love doing, that's gonna naturally reset your balance point and enhance your ability to recover, okay? So around your work, we want to be influencing and putting more of these things into our life to be more effective at recovering our entire system, which is going to allow us to create more and produce more in life. So that's section one for body. The next two are pretty simple. It's your fuel and your fitness. So fuel are things like hydration, very simple, but majorly overlooked. How much water are you consuming a day? How many plants and how many fruits are you consuming as well? Because your hydration levels are going to be determined by the amount of water you drink, the amount of vegetables you eat, and the amount of fruit you have as well. So the more hydrated we are, the more our brain and body is going to be able to function at its highest. I know many of you already know that. I'm just reminding you here, okay? Number 2, your nutrition. Subjectively, what is your nutrition currently like at this point in time? How many packaged foods are you eating? Are you consuming packaged foods? Does your diet mainly consume of whole natural foods grown from the earth or not? Are you consuming a shitload of sugar, shitload of sweets, lollies, ice cream? I don't know. You've got to come up with that yourself. Analyze your life in depth. See how you can start to make tweaks to improve your nutrition in your life. Next one would be supplementation. And then the last one would be I would say caffeine plus drugs. So supplements, what supplements are you taking, if any at all? And then also I want you to analyze your current caffeine and drug consumption. Are you drinking a lot of caffeine? Are you drinking much alcohol? Are you consuming many drugs, many stimulants? Are you smoking weed all the time? All of these things are going to be leaking your power, so you can analyze where you're personally at. Remember, there's no right or wrong, but that's just something that we need to really address and just get raw and honest with ourselves about, whether those things are serving us or whether they're actually retracting and taking away our personal power in life. Next one, fitness. Very simple, exercise. How many times are you exercising per week? Remember, it's not about going and lifting 400 pounds in the gym. It's about just approaching life where we're viewing life as movement, because the whole key to be able to enhance the quality of our mind is dependent on the current level of energy we have in our body. And the more we move, the more energy we start to have available to us, because our energy is directly tied with the emotions that we feel, and the emotions that we feel are directly tied to our level of thinking and intelligence in life. So the higher states of energy that we feel, where we're moving the energy through our body through exercise, we're going to naturally start feeling more heightened level of emotions. The better we feel emotionally, the more compelled we're going to be to create what we want in our life, to problem solve, and just see things from a more lighter perspective, so to speak. When we're feeling really dense, we typically feel very fearful, stressed, lethargic, and we start to get quite depressed in life. So make sure, if you're not exercising, look at how you can improve that and implement it in your life. So that, we've now covered the 2 essential categories of your life across your mind and your body. The next one is all about our spiritual integration in life. Spiritual, and this is correlated with your wisdom. And I like to correlate the spiritual aspect of life as like our consciousness, basically. So the way I view my spiritual and the way I break it down, I look at, all right, how much life force do I have available to me right now? Do I feel fully activated, alive, and passionate in every walking moment? Or do I feel really trapped, dense, and do I have things that are like sucking my energy out of me? Number 2, what does my current meditation practice look like? Because the more I meditate, the more present I become, and that allows me to start using my consciousness more, that I can channel into the present moment, which allows me to start working with the quantum realm to start bringing in and anchoring in what I would like to create in the physical. Then that is directly tied with like your ability to use your breath in life. Remember, I'm not teaching everything here, but I just want you to subjectively analyze if you're currently utilizing these things in your life, if these things are totally new to you, or if you have like, some improvements to make that you would like to implement more. The next one is my heart-brain unity. So this is really the difference between feeling and thinking. So if I am thinking too much in life, I know that I need to balance it out with feeling, because your heart has access to infinite intelligence, okay? Our brain is a great tool for rational thinking. However, it's also limited in many ways. And the limitations can be made up for by tapping into the intuitive wisdom that we already have built within us, okay? Once again, I'm not going to go too much into this, but you know, is this a new concept for you? Do you start to try and sync up your brain's frequency with your heart? Yes or no? You've got to discern what this specifically means to you. Then I also look at my balancing of masculine and feminine energy. So I like to view myself and look at, all right, am I in my core masculine, or am I in like kind of a toxic masculine energy? And also, am I integrating the feminine side of myself as well? Because it's really, the mastery of life is found in the balance between heart-brain unity, mind and heart, and also your balancing of masculine and feminine energy. That is the yin-yang of life, right? So if you want to achieve more balance, more presence in your life, more focus, where you're able to channel your consciousness and create the reality you desire, start investigating these energies and start to play with them yourself. Then I also like to look at my balancing of my chakras. I'll let that one slide for now. We can do another video on that later. And then I like to look at how present I am in the moment. So when it comes to this topic, I look at, okay, am I living in the now? Am I projecting out into the future? Or am I caught up in the victimhood of my past? So living in the victimhood of my past really does not personally serve me whatsoever. Living out and projecting into the future, thinking about what may occur in the future, sucks my energy and life force away as well. But when I surrender to the present moment and live in the now, that's when I can bring all of my power into myself to start living consciously in the present moment, which actually makes me feel the best in life. Makes me feel the most love, makes me feel the most compassion, makes me feel the most enlightened, in which I can then start to approach every situation in. And that is really the trick, and that is the key to spiritual mastery. So let's move on now to your relationships. Which I like to then view as my connections, or the depth of connection that I currently have in my life. So first up, in my relationships, I like to look at the relationship I have with myself. Then intimate partner. Then I look at the relationship I have with my family and friends / colleagues / social network, okay? So when it comes to myself, I like to look at how much time and energy am I currently investing in me? Am I filling my own cup up first before I then go and contribute to others? Or am I constantly at the mercy of what other people want and other people's demands? So this is about prioritizing you and filling your own cup up first, prioritizing your own development and centering yourself each and every single day. Because the more you look after you, that is how you go and be more effective and enhance your value that you can deliver to others. And what I really like to do every single day is like look at the energy in which I'm vibrating at. So I really like to master and enhance the level of energy that I'm feeling in the day, because when I'm feeling at my best, I can serve others to the greatest capacity. And if I'm not, then I'm just a shithead to everybody. So this is why I always prioritize myself first. Get yourself right, be the change in which you wish to see, and then go and start impacting and serving others, because that's going to make you the absolute happiest as well. Another thing you can look at is like with yourself, how much are you giving to yourself? Are you giving yourself permission to do the things that you love in life? where you're doing the things you love, you're having fun, and you're kind of like playing and dancing with life? Or are you restricting yourself, basically punishing yourself, and basically continuing to be devoid of love, passion, fun, at the sacrificing yourself in order to do other things, accomplish something? And that's kind of like a key pattern that I've found in the world, where, and in this industry as well, where a lot of people sacrifice their own self and avoid having or sacrifice their own fun that they have in their life to then be able to work more, to do more, and to do more for others. But I guarantee you that is the greatest and fastest path to burnout. Next, I like to look at the relationship with my intimate partner. So what is your current level of communication with them? What is your current level of intimacy and passion in the relationship? What's the current sex life look like? How present am I being with my partner? Am I kind of going through the emotions of the day-to-day? Or when I'm with my partner, am I fully immersed and conscious and present in that moment where I'm bringing my full self and I'm communicating with them at depth? And then also, what is my level of communication with them like? Am I being raw, honest, and truthful and really confronting the hard topics? Or am I shying away from those and avoiding those like the plague? Next is overall, just a general consensus of what is your current communication and connection with your family, and then also what is your current level of communication and connection with your friends. So analyze that life in detail too, because the quality of your life oftentimes comes down to the quality of the relationships that you have, firstly with yourself and then others around you. Number 5. We're almost there, guys. So 5 is your business. And if you don't own a business, I view this more so as your mission or creation. What are you creating in the world? And what mission are you on? And then regardless of what you're creating and regardless of what your mission is, I've found that there's a few key elements that I like to check in with myself as a generality in this life when I'm reviewing it and when I'm setting the tone for the future. Number 1 is, am I doing what I love? Yes or no? Am I connected with my work or am I disconnected? Am I in the moment? Am I passionate? Do I feel alive about everything I'm doing in business and with what I'm creating in the world? Or am I not? Am I working a 9 to 5? Am I working for someone else? Am I like an entrepreneur? Or am I a unique creator? Because as soon as you start losing connection with what you love in life, and if you're doing things just as a means to an end, in other words, just trying to pay the bills, then you are really sucking the life force out of yourself, because life is really too short to do anything other than what you love in life. So if you're not doing something that you love at this present moment, that's totally okay. We've all been there. And the key to it is, though, you just firstly recognizing it and acknowledging it and knowing that this reality is waiting for you. It's your choosing to step into that or to continue to deny yourself of that love in your work and be passionate about what you're doing. So if you're not, I would start to look at the areas or lines of work or the things that you want to create in the world that you are passionate about, that really makes you come alive in doing what you do. And then start to look at pathways and ways to get there moving forward. Secondly, I like to look at what is my current role that I'm playing? So what is my current role with what I'm creating in the world, with my current mission that I'm on, or the business I'm developing and growing? Because when you start to understand your role, you can start to then look at, all right, is this role best suited for me? So kind of related to, am I doing what I love? Because the more alignment you have in your role, the more you're going to be able to step into doing what you love on a consistent basis. Are you currently great at what you do? Yes, no, maybe. If not, how can we make some adjustments in our life to continue developing the required skill sets to become masters at what we do and start to really round ourselves out holistically? Next, I look at my current leadership skills, and this really comes down to you being able to effectively design, create, articulate, and then communicate your vision, mission, and values to yourself and also your team and then your clients. Have you got a clear vision, mission, values for yourself and your business and what you're creating? Or are you just creating for the sake of it? Are you building a business just for the sake of it, for cash? Your alignment to this is a major indicator of whether your business and your company is going to be successful in the long run, or whether it's just a fly-by-night, short-term thing that you're just doing for profits. 4, I like to look at and analyze product development, which is basically your value creation in the marketplace. 5, I analyze my marketing. This is your client attraction machine. Then I look at sales, operations, and economics. So marketing, that's your client attraction and how you're doing that. Is it organic? Is it working for you? Is it paid? Is it working for you? What do you need to refine in this next year to really dial in that aspect of your business? What are your current sales look like? Are you doing, like, that's your client conversion machine? So what is your process that you're currently installing and implementing to then convert clients into what you're doing? Are you doing it authentically? Are you manipulating people in the marketplace that feels out of alignment to your new self that you're becoming? So these are things that you can look at and refine over time. Look at your current operations. So what sort of systems, automations, and workflows do you have in the business? Is there new software, new technology out there where you can start to enhance your ability to automate and systemize the company so you can start to extract yourself from the operations and more so start to think bigger and start to have more space and time to be able to get more creative with your innovative ideas that you can start to bring into whatever it is that you're doing to enhance your value in the marketplace and also enhance your reward or the value that you receive for enhancing what you're creating. And then finally, your economics. So what are the current financials of your business, and what sort of accounting practices do you have set up for yourself that you can either continue to maintain or improve on if it's not up to scratch and not up to par with where you're currently at. So that's just firstly section number 1, current analysis of where you currently are. Now, we'll quickly get into the rest of this, which is going to be more so related to, here's my process for creating the future vision. So my process for doing so, I then look at where I am, okay? And then I look at where I want to go. What is the future desired state that I would like to create for myself across my mind, my body, spirit, relationships, and business? The way I do this is I break my future vision down into 4 key categories. Number 1, I look at the empowering and expansive beliefs that I want to adopt, because your beliefs is like the software, the operating system inside your mind that's going to allow you to create what you want in your life, because you get what you believe in life, because your beliefs are going to determine and start to dictate the thoughts you think and the emotions that you feel and the stories that you tell yourself. So if you're currently adopting and accepting limiting beliefs for yourself, write those down and then replace them with more empowering beliefs about that specific life category across mind, body, spirit, relationships, and business. Secondly, I like to create the future vision for what I see for myself in that life category. Now, you can do this overall in general for your life, but I like to break down and segment them into the categories to make it really specific and applied to either my mind, body, spirit, relationships, or business. And this is about designing and getting really descriptive about the future reality in which you want to create for yourself. Number 3 is your purpose. This is really about the why. Why do you do what you do? Why do you want this vision? Why do you want to adopt these beliefs in the specific life category of your mind or your body? You get it, right? So this is like the emotional juice and the emotional fire that you can call upon at any point in time to continue making strategic progress and incremental progress in your life. And then the final one is the strategy. So then this goes into the micro unique strategy that you're going to apply into that specific category of life. What are the actions, what are the behaviors, and what are the habits that you're going to install and implement on a consistent basis to continue progressing across all areas of life? So break it down, really think methodically, think holistically about this, and do the work, because when you start creating this entire operating system, that is like the software that you can then install into your mind to get what you want in life, okay? And then finally, I want to introduce you to the master strategy for getting anything that you want in your life. So by now, we've looked at your current state, we've looked at your future desired state, and how to break that down in terms of crafting your vision and then installing the software or the operating system that's going to empower you and allow you to get there. But now, after everything that we've covered, it can be a little bit overwhelming when we're like, holy fuck, like that's a lot of categories that I need to look into and master. But forget the categories for a moment, okay? Let's just look at life as it is. The strategy that I like to execute on when I'm trying to progress, the singular default strategy that overrides any other micro strategy that I apply into the specific categories of my life, the one that I focus on the most, first and foremost, before I get into any other strategy, is the principle of focusing on your energy over matter. Now, when it comes to energy, what I'm talking about here is mastering my emotions and amplifying my energetic vibrational frequency before I worry about doing anything in this physical reality that is made up of matter, because energy creates matter. Energy precedes matter. There is an energy, and it's a universal law that you can either fight against or work with when it comes to you creating and manifesting what you want in your reality. And this is more of a manifestation technique or strategy that you can apply. And there's a lot of buzz around the word manifestation, especially in the spiritual community, but it is totally applicable to you achieving results in your physical reality, in the real world, if you apply it. Because remember, we get what we vibrate. So if you are vibrating at a lower emotional state of fear, anxiety, stress, overwhelm, or judgment, shame, guilt, whatever it may be, a lower energetic frequency, if you are currently vibrating it, then your universe will reflect that back onto you. In other words, your current state of being in the present moment will create your future. So this comes back to here. So what this means is that your current state of being, in other words, the current energy that you're adopting in this now moment will create the future reality for yourself, because there is no past, there is no future. There is only the now. So your current state of being in this now moment will create your reality in the next now moment. So if you want to achieve anything across your mind, your body, your spirit, relationships, and your business in life, well, the key default is to create from the highest place or the highest energetic frequency available to us, which is that of love and compassion and service to others. And you can also throw in fun and joy in there too. So the more we love, the more compassion we embody, the more we desire to be of service to others, and the more fun and joy that we have in our lives, the easier everything becomes. Because when you're slogging it out, when you're burned out and you're trying to just slog through the work and do things and crank through it, it becomes really hard, and it's a really linear approach, and it doesn't really work effectively. But when you start to come and vibrate at the highest energetic frequencies of love, compassion, service to others, then ideas start flowing to you. You start to work with the energetics and the flow of life. Things become much more easier, much more enjoyable, and now you find yourself living in your desired state of being in the now moment. Because in order to achieve any goal that you want, you first have to embody the feeling of that goal first and foremost. Because if you do not feel it, you will not create it. So you have to feel the energy of your goal first, feel what it's like, embody the feeling of what it would be like to accomplish that or achieve your intention for what you would like to create in the future. And then you're going to be pulling that goal into your now moment, okay? The goal will start to manifest and attract unto you much faster. This is about working with the higher quantum realm, right? Because the quantum realm, there only is energy. Our universe is made up of energy. That is the underlying law. That's the fabric of our universe. So then it would make sense to start working in coherence with the energetics around us and stop fighting against it. So that is the key lesson. Adopt the highest energetic vibration now, and you will create what you want to. In other words, in this physical reality, the matter will start to mold around you based on your energetic vibration. So I'm not going to get into how to raise your energetic vibration in this video. That'll be in the videos to come. But I just want you to firstly reflect on everything we've covered today. Go back and look at all the different categories of your life across the 5 categories that we spoke about. Break them down. That's going to help your mind understand where you are across all domains. And then you can start to apply this universal principle to start creating and manifesting everything that you desire across all categories of life. Because there only is one, there only is the now, and that is the way to get what you want. So I hope this video helped you guys without overwhelming you too much with the breakdown and the categories that we spoke about in depth. And yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.